Hi friends and welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hello. My name's George Agambar and I'm a UK music producer. Welcome back to the brand new short series taking you through the very basics of recording and producing. The very basics. Even if you've never dived into the wonderful world of audio production before, by the end of this series you should feel confident in recording and producing your first ever song. So make sure you stay tuned and hit the subscribe button and notification bell to follow the series along. And things will never be the same when I hear your name since you kissed me in the rain. In the last video we had a look at the mixing process so that our recordings began to work together and sound like a song. For the final video of the series we're going to have a look at those final steps of creating a song and how to finish it off. Today we're going to be having a look at how to bounce individual files, how to bounce the whole mix, how to send the files to other people and getting feedback, perhaps one of the most important stages of the whole process. The word bouncing gets used a lot in audio production, and it's essentially when we export our files so that we can move them out of our DAW project. There may be times when we want to bounce or export each of our files individually, and this could be when we're sending it to another engineer or another producer to mix or remix our song, or when we're sending them our own recordings to use in their own project. To do this, we want to select all of the files we want to export. We then go to File, Export, and then All Tracks as Audio Files. We will see this menu pop up. The most common file type is WAV. This is because it's a lossless file type, so will produce the highest quality recordings. You can then choose various different settings, such as how much of your track you want to export. The next thing to focus on would be normalizing. We want to make sure that this is always off, otherwise tracks will be gained up for us by the DAW. It can also be really handy just to quickly check how the exported tracks are going to be named. Here we've got track name and custom. Normally I just put the track name. This will let whoever I'm sending these audio files to know which track is which, and this will save them a lot of time when they come to mixing, and they'll really appreciate it. There are also going to be times when we want to bounce or export the whole mix into one file to send. And this is when we want to send our mix into the mastering stage. I've made a video all about mastering as it's a completely different process to mixing, which I'll leave a link to in the description. To bounce the whole mix as one track, we will want to select all the individual tracks. We then go to File, Bounce, and then Project or Selection. We get this menu appear. Firstly, we choose the file type. Again, when sending for mastering, a WAV file is the most common file type to send, and we absolutely want to make sure that normalize is turned off. These are the settings that are the most essential to get right. There are obviously the other settings that you can play with and change, and these will alter some small intricacies of your recording. But when we're looking at the basics, these small intricacies won't make too much of a difference. So once we've bounced and exported our tracks, it's more than likely that we'll need to send them. If you're sending lots of files, it's common practice to put them all into one folder and to compress the folder. This means it will be smaller in size, so easier to send and easier to download. When we're sending files to another creative, we normally use online transfer services, and some of my favourites are WeTransfer, Dropbox and Google Drive. They're all really easy to use and fairly self-explanatory free websites. The final thing we need to do is to get some feedback. Unless our music is created solely for our own enjoyment, which by the way is perfectly fine and acceptable, we need to know what others think. So ask friends or family, ask them what they like and what they don't like, what they think works and what perhaps doesn't work so well. Then make sure that you listen to your song through a variety of speakers. Go and listen through a car radio or through a Bluetooth speaker or a pair of headphones or a phone speaker and check that it sounds good on all of them. But please don't assume that your mix is going to sound perfect your first try. Always be prepared to go back and revisit your project and make changes and alterations. Getting feedback is so important because it's these small changes and alterations that will help us improve and develop our skills. It's all part of the process. So that's the final steps to finishing your mix. Once you've followed this series through, you should have a finished song. As I've mentioned throughout the series, there are many more advanced techniques and practices that you can apply to your mix when you feel a little bit more confident. Thank you so much for following these videos. I hope you found them useful and interesting, and I really do appreciate all the support. Let me know if you have any questions or thoughts in the comments. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, and I will see you again soon.